your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see decreasing cloud cover throughout the day with an afternoon high around 86. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low around 70. And tomorrow, mainly sunny skies return, a little warmer with a high around 93. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket, every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. I am Harrison Arns behind the board, 1040 Ticket Studios. We got the host, as always, for the Don't Punt Hour, DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. We're on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. I got plenty of things to talk about. We'll talk some NBA, NFL, a little bit of College World Series, and if we got time for it, some college football as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him in. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this Thursday night, man?
It's going good, enjoying the day.
Yeah, I got some nice weather. Still pretty hot, muggy out, but nonetheless, you'll take it. We're out of tornado watch, which is nice. It's crazy. It feels like every other week. But yeah, the weather looks fine. A good day to go sit outside on the porch, maybe have porch beer, at least for me, because I'm off on Fridays. But still got some work to do. And the first thing I want to start off with here is Tennessee, Texas A&M. That is the College World Series finals. Obviously, they got to win 2 games. It's going to be the best of 3 series. Texas A&M kind of shocked me yesterday. They put down Florida pretty easily. The Florida, for as electric on with the bats as they've been, after dropping, I believe it was 15. Yeah, 15 on Kentucky. They get shut out by Texas A&M, lose that one 6-0. Even if they won that one, they'd have to play again to give Texas A&M a second loss. But Texas A&M goes undefeated through these regionals. They find themselves playing Tennessee in the championship game. Tennessee, same story. They also went undefeated to get to the championship match. Who do you like here in this one as we're getting to these last games here? The first game that's going to take place in 2 days on the 22nd.
I got Tennessee. Tennessee has just looked a little bit more dominant than A&M has. They both, look good, but Tennessee is just, I think they're playing at a different level.
Yeah, and you could argue either way. I think it comes pretty close, but I definitely think bracket 1, where Tennessee was slotted, definitely had the harder road. They had to play Florida State, came down to the wire that first game. They win at 12-11. Then they get an easier, quote, you could say easier game, North Carolina. They win that one 6-1. Then they got to play Florida State again. But the second time around, they really take care of business. They beat them 7-2. And then when you look at Texas A&M, they get by Florida just barely the first game, 3-2. Then they get by Kentucky 5-1. And then, of course, they get by Florida again 6-0. But yeah, I'm going to be curious. Tennessee's, the way they're hitting the ball right now, it feels like I'm going to probably roll with Tennessee as well. Texas A&M, though, they got another shot to try to make a deep run here. Obviously, it was a basketball team after the departure of Trev Alberts, and now they're here in baseball as well. So, again, that's going to take place on the 22nd for that first game for the College World Series title. It's going to be definitely one to watch. I think out of the 2 teams, you feel pretty good. That's probably the best 2 teams that could have came out of those brackets. I mean, bracket 1, I picked Tennessee to win it. I was wrong in bracket 2. I thought I was with you. I thought it'd be NC State or maybe even Florida, the way they were hitting. But any surprises, or is there a team in here you would think should be in as opposed to Texas A&M or Tennessee?
I mean, if Florida State didn't have to go through Tennessee, I think Florida State probably would be the other team in there. I think if they had to face A&M, did they play A&M early?
No, Florida State, they were on the other side, so they never came across Texas A&M. During the regular season, I'd have to look.
I think, if they would have played A&M, things might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think probably the 2 best teams in there was Florida State. I think they're the team that came closest to pushing Tennessee. Obviously, in that second game, Tennessee came away pretty easily, but I'm with you there. I think the way they set this up, you would have maybe liked to see it shifted a little bit more, especially in that second bracket. It felt like bracket 1 was definitely the more loaded of the 2. But yeah, I got no problem. Tennessee, Texas A&M, because I'm not entirely sure if Florida State can't be or would lose to Texas A&M either. But should be a good series. We'll keep you updated. Again, that's 22nd when that starts. In other news, we got to talk about the Lakers because they did it. They got their head coach. What are your thoughts, JJ Redick? And then we'll dive into the details of this contract.
At some point, I think he is deserving for an opportunity. I think he does know basketball. I think, he did push himself in college. He did, work as hard. He's a hard worker. He's smart. I just don't think, the Lakers and LeBron, I would say, kind of probably got you that job. Is that the best decision? I mean, like I said, we just seen the Detroit fire their coach, and in less than 24 hours, you hire, JJ without even, at least from our knowledge, consulting or seeking into that. I think the player coach is good for the NBA. We've seen it. We've seen what happened with the Mavericks. I think Nash just kind of got dealt a bad hand.
Yeah.
He was, with some better players or not better superstars. I just think that trio that he was dealt with wasn't possibly. It just wasn't the best matchup. But I think he can do some things, but I'm just not sure how much of that is going to happen. With LeBron being there. I mean, LeBron even might feel like he can control the coach and do certain things. Y'all are friends. How does that translate over to coach-player type thing? So it's definitely something to be interested in and look at, to look out for. I just didn't think, his right out the gate, that type of job.
Yeah, and the other coaches, if we want to name players, not even just players, just guys who got the job with no coaching experience. Most of the time they're going to be players because that is some sort of level of experience. But guys who weren't in a coaching position at all before getting that head coaching spot, you got Larry Bird back in the day, Doc Rivers, Mark Jackson, and of course we talked about him, Jason Kidd, when he was with the Nets 2013, he took over that job. And then JJ Redick, obviously 24-25 season, he's going to be taking over the Los Angeles Lakers. Not necessarily guys that you would see on a list and tell you this is a mistake, but I still don't like the idea of JJ Redick going down there. Do you think this thing is going to work out, be a smooth operating? Because it is going to be an interesting dynamic. I mean, LeBron James, JJ Redick, they've had their podcasts. They've kind of criticized some of Darvin Ham's coaching while on their show at times, which is unique. And now you have a dynamic where one of your good friends is also going to be your head coach. It seems like an awkward dynamic to me. I'm not very confident this thing's going to work out the way the Lakers want it to with Jeannie Buss and Pelinka. How do you feel about this working out, for the long run, where they can actually keep JJ Redick there? Because it's a 4-year contract. That's the other part to remember. They didn't just give him a one deal and see how he does. He's got 4 years, knowing the Lakers, they'd be willing to probably cut him after 2 if they don't like it. But it stands at 4. Does this thing work out the way they're hoping to, or are you kind of pessimistic on it?
It has the potential. And I say it has the potential because JJ Redick, what he's accomplished in his career as, working hard, putting in the work to know basketball. So that part, he has that part. Him coming from the Duke, Coach K tree, and probably can pull a lot of stuff from that and everything like that. People respect Coach K. People respect his system and everything like that. So he has that knowledge to do things and everything like that. The other part is what they have at the Lakers and what they can do, with the players that they got or the players that they should go get and everything like that to transform that team. That's going to be the part that defines and move things. And then ultimately, what is the clash between him and LeBron? Are they still going to have this podcast?
They better not.
Everything like that.
They better not.
If you criticize LeBron and get on LeBron and says, I think, you could be doing more or push more or practice harder and everything like that, is LeBron going to look at you like, look who you talking to? Like, is his pride going to get into it? How does that dynamic, or, will he kind of look at him, brush it off and do his own thing, and then that creates division because will the team look at Braun or will they look at you? You know what I'm saying? So there's some definitely interesting things you have to look at, and it could go a certain way. Like I said, if you've listened to how he's worked in the offseason to get better, to be, contributor on these teams that he's been a part of with some of these superstar caliber teams that he was with and everything like that, he knows the game. He knows, what to look for, what's needed and everything like that. So he checks that box. Playing at a high level, winning at a high level, having a high IQ, he checks that box. Knowing basketball and everything like that, he checks that box. It just comes to what will be the clash with him getting on LeBron or getting, something different out of LeBron to where, it won't, how does that make their friendship look at is what is a little bit concerning. Because, if you lose the locker room, you'll be looking at another Darvin Ham with you out of there. So it has the potential because of, what he does have behind him. I'm giving him, the benefit of the doubt. It just honestly, how does that relationship work, or how does that, hierarchy work with him and LeBron? Honestly, is my only question. And then what other pieces are you going to bring that aren't on that team right now?
Yeah, that's the other part. The roster construction still doesn't look like a championship caliber team. And when you have LeBron James, that's the expectation. Whether the roster around LeBron makes sense or not, if he's on that roster, they expect at least a finals appearance, Western Conference finals appearance at the very least. And obviously they came short this year. Would the Pistons be the better job to take if you're JJ Redick? That's the one I can't get over. I think if you're JJ Redick, we've seen what the Lakers history looks like with coaches, and recent history would say if the team's not good, it's not the GM's problem, it's not the owner's problem, it's the head coach. The head coach has been the scapegoat over and over and over again. That's a lot to head into. LA, all the lights, all the media attention, and unfortunately, they got a bad track record of the head coach tends to be the scapegoat. The Pistons, you take that job. Yes, it's Detroit. Yes, the players, the talent level isn't great. But the bar is 14 games. Win 15 games, and you did better than the last coach. It feels like that'd be the opportunity to really kind of grow your roots as a coach and take a young team that's going to have the respect for JJ Redick as opposed to a Lakers team that's still going to have LeBron James. I think that is a very real conversation. Who are they going to look at in those crunch time situations? Is it JJ or is it LeBron James? The Pistons, you just got to win 15 games and you did better than Monty Williams. That seems like a way more organic way to go about it. I think you take the Pistons job, especially after you find out that Monty Williams got hired. I know they just fired the guy after one season on a bad deal, but the bar's so low that I think you could actually get something out of that team to build onto your coaching resume. And then maybe if the Lakers are open down the road, you can go there. But I just feel like this thing has a way better chance of blowing up and making JJ Redick look poor as a coach than good as a coach. Whether it's right or fair, I think that's just how it's gonna happen with the Lakers. Because I thought Vogel was a good coach and they got rid of him. I thought even Ham, I wasn't a big fan of Darvin Ham. I was really kind of unsure, but it never felt like they let him fully coach. The team kind of tuned him out middle of the season. Is Pistons the better job if you're JJ Redick?
I think you have a little bit more leeway if it is the Pistons. You have a little bit more issues though with, talent.
Major issues with talent. That is true.
You got young guys there and everything like that. So you have having LeBron is a good and bad at the same time. Being in LA, like they're gonna expect you to win a championship in the next 2 years. Like that's the expectation. Not to say that you can't, but again, you have LeBron, but how would that look if y'all get into it? We've already seen if LeBron feels a certain way and the whole team don't respect you or don't respect what you're saying or whatnot. Because I didn't think Darvin was a bad coach and everything like that. I just think the situation had kind of got out of hand. He lost the locker room, and dealing with LeBron. But how many times have we heard this with LeBron and head coaches? You know what I'm saying? Ty Lue has been doing fine, just without LeBron. He's a lot better than some of these other coaches and everything like that. Spoelstra, he been going to Eastern Conference Finals, going to finals and everything like that without LeBron. So, and LeBron, really wasn't a big fan, I know, of Spoelstra. I'm not too sure of Ty Lue. I know they had their issues or whatever, but I know he was begging to get him in LA, just not, for the Clippers or whatnot. But like I said, I think the expectations are going to be a lot higher and a lot harsher with the Lakers. So your timetable of actually doing something will be sped up and a lot quicker than if it would have been with another team outside of, having the superstar like LeBron on your team and having the Lakers, where the Lakers expect to be dominant and go to the playoffs and win and be competing for a championship. So I'm not sure if that was the best job to take, just because you got to be able to turn that around quick. Yep. And I'm not sure how you're going to do that. I feel like at least, with Detroit or some of these other coaches that, might make switches and everything like that, they would have gave you some leeway. They would at least give you 3 years. I don't think he has 3 years with the Lakers. That's just me being, outside looking in.
Yeah, I think it's probably got a 2-year run. We talked about it a little bit on We Talk Facts. You guys can go back on YouTube, not until this show's over. I'd appreciate it if you stayed through for this one. But yeah, you'll look at it, and just when it comes to LeBron James through the coaches, you can kind of go through his resume. That friend dynamic is what's just going to be unique. You're going to walk into, obviously, the Lake Show, LA. You're not going to get an unbiased, fair evaluation. That's just kind of how it's been for LA coaches, at least in recent history. You can probably go back even further if you really want to, but to expect an unbiased, fair, synopsis of your first year of coaching, I don't think it's going to be unbiased. I think you're going to hear from a lot of people that, maybe don't have the best judgment in terms of having a fair opinion. But let's just go through some of LeBron James' coaches. When he first got there, Brandon Malone, this is when he was on the Cavaliers. This was his sophomore year. They were 18-8, and Malone gets fired. Now, I'm not saying LeBron James is firing these head coaches, but I'm trying to illustrate the pressure of having LeBron James. Then he goes to Mike Brown, led the Cavs to a finals appearance, 60-win season. Then, once again, gets fired despite the finals appearance at a 60-win season. David Blatt, he was regarded as one of the best coaches in Europe. I believe he got them to the finals. Well, let me double check here. Yeah, got the Cavs to the finals in his first year with a newly constructed roster. And then, of course, got the second season. Didn't matter. He gets canned anyway, despite still having a pretty positive record, still heading to the playoffs. After that, Luke Walton. That's one I can't blame him. Luke Walton was not a good coach. I hate that one wasn't going to work out for the Lakers. And then, of course, Frank Vogel, he gets a ring to LA. Your two best players get hurt. You get rid of your role players. Frank Vogel ends up getting fired as well. Darvin Ham, he gets a really short run. He gets fired. Now, I'm not saying LeBron James is going up to the ownership and saying we need to fire this head coach. Maybe that's real. Maybe you want to make that argument, but it definitely illustrates the pressure. Some of these guys had incredible records. They were bringing a team with LeBron to the finals, and they were still getting canned. So I just think with JJ Redick, I'm very curious. What do you guys think? I'll ask the audience, 402-464-5685. Optimistic, pessimistic, neutral. Is this thing going to work out with JJ Redick on a reported 4-year deal? Does he actually get all 4? Plenty of things to talk about. But again, you guys are always welcome to join, 402-464-5685. We got one chiming in here, unknown texter, 5268. I'm a LA Lakers fan, and I actually hate the fact that LeBron James is able to make or influence decisions like this. I personally do not want to follow them again until LeBron is gone. That LeBron's an interesting character in that way. You will find a lot of Lakers fans, maybe partially because of that Kobe hangover too, where rightfully so, Kobe Bryant, everything he did for the season. Then you get LeBron James in there. You do get one title out of it in a weird COVID year. But yeah, what is your thought on this with LeBron James and just kind of that back and forth with the head coaches? How much influence do you think LeBron James really has when it came to JJ Redick and even some of these previous coaches in the past? Like, do we build that too much as media, or is that a real thing? Or is it just simply the pressure of having LeBron and LeBron's not really in those conversations?
I think, you have arguably the greatest basketball player of all time on your team. He probably, you can argue him being the biggest athlete in the world, period. So anything and everything that he do will be under a microscope. If he look at you wrong, it's a story. you know, if he coughs or, you know, he could be playing around and give you a hand gesture to like wave you off, it's gonna be a story. Like that's just the LeBron effect. Everything he does will be put under a microscope. Yeah. So it's not fair to some of these coaches coming in because, I mean, again, he's probably a lot more accomplished than a lot of these dudes or than played against, you know, some of the dudes. And there may be an intimidation there to where he's looking, you know, he's not looking down upon them, but he's questioning, you know, their IQ or their ability to do something or something he may not like it. He's used to been getting his way. He was doing things his way since he was 18 and in the league. Did he have some trouble with stuff and everything like that, or you know, catching up on things and everything like that? Yes, but it's a force to be reckoned with. Mm-hmm. You gotta kind of come correct, stay in your ground, or you know, be somebody that you know. I'm not saying he fears, but he respects. You know, a Phil Jackson. Half the stuff he's probably doing now, he wouldn't be doing, you know, with Phil. You know what I'm saying? Like that level. Coach K, you know, Popovich. You know, those legendary coaches and everything. Like you have to probably get that level of a talent to kind of tone down LeBron because LeBron won't necessarily come out with a lot of things. He might not agree with it, but he respects you on a different level than some of these other younger coaches or coaches that are, you know, closer to his age and everything like that. So it's kind of you get dealt a bad hand, you know, like as I said, like it's good having them, but it's not good having them because everything you do is going to be under a microscope. And that's not your fault or anything like that. That's just, you know, what you was dealt.
Yeah, it's a brutal situation to be a coach for LeBron. It gives you one of the best chances to go and try to make a finals run, but it also really kills you if the roster around LeBron isn't good enough. Because you're going to be the scapegoat, no question. And you're more right than I don't even know if you realize how right you are, because there's only been two coaches that through all of the coaches that LeBron or all the teams that LeBron's been a part of, there's only two coaches so far that have actually stayed through the tenure of LeBron James that didn't get fired while he was there. Can you name the two? And you're right about them being icons. Yep.
Spoelstra is one.
Yep.
But I think Ty Lue was still the coach of the Cavs when he left.
Yeah, it's Spoelstra and Ty Lue. Only two coaches to not get fired while LeBron James is on the roster. Otherwise, we're all the way up to nine other coaches have been fired while he's on the roster. Those are the only two that made it through.
I mean, Pat Riley runs the Heat. So regardless of how LeBron was feeling and everything like that,
yeah,
it was only so much that was going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, like, you know, that was Wade's town. Like LeBron, you know, you boosted some stuff and everything like that, but you were still in, you know, Dwayne Wade's country, period. So, I mean, it was only so much that Pat was going to allow him to do, which is probably, honestly, was the downfall of the team because he wasn't probably getting his way with certain stuff. So, I mean, like I said, but again, people know who Pat Riley is. You respect that.
Yep.
Like, you're not necessarily going to go against that. And that's what I mean by, you know, having somebody of influence to where not necessarily they're scared of LeBron, but LeBron respects them enough to, you know, okay, well, I won't tiptoe that line. How many times have we seen Coach K be the coach of Team USA? You haven't heard no backlash against Coach K.
Yeah.
You haven't heard no backlash, you know, with LeBron, you know, having issues with something. Same thing with Greg Popovich. I think Popovich was a coach upon the time with LeBron there or something like that.
Yep.
You didn't hear anything wrong, you know, with that situation, and people can talk about, you know, it's the system down there with the Spurs and everything like that. LeBron didn't say anything negative. LeBron didn't say anything bad or whatnot. You know what I mean? So it was always, you know, he kept his mouth shut or X, Y, and Z, you know, and did what was needed. So I think that's a piece that people might want to look into and everything like that. You know, after the fact with, like I said, dealing with somebody like LeBron. LeBron is, like I said, arguably the biggest athlete in the world. You can go to any country and you say that name and they'll know who you're talking about, probably.
Yeah, outside of soccer superstars, he's probably one of those other sports figures, especially as basketball becomes more popular. It's definitely LeBron James' reach is pretty insane. It definitely goes across the U.S. borders. Soccer players are always going to dominate just due to the popularity of the sport. Not here in the U.S., but obviously just about everywhere in Europe. You can go all the way to, it's just a way bigger deal over there. But yeah, we got to wrap it up on this first segment. But I did forget Paul Silas, the first fallen coach in LeBron James' tenure. I forgot to bring him up at the very beginning. So yes, Paul Silas, then Brandon Malone, Mike Brown, David Blatt, Luke Walton. I forgive him with Luke Walton, even if that was like directly from LeBron. I get that one totally. And then Frank Vogel, and then Darvin Ham, the latest. Yeah, if you're JJ Redick, don't worry. The bars just be one of the greatest coaches that we've seen in this era, and you'll probably get to keep your job. But it's interesting. If you want to be optimistic about it, maybe this is part of LeBron's turning over the leaf as he's on his way out of the NBA. You keep hearing him talk about AD really hyping up Anthony Davis being the next guy of the league, and maybe he's trying to do that with JJ Redick to make sure JJ Redick is that next coach, long-running coach for the Lakers. Ton of different ways you can look at it. But I'll read this one from the Milkman as we wrap things up, because the synopsis for most people is that this is not going to work out. Milkman chimes in, 0 chance it works. James is cancer. Little strong words there. Don't agree with the last part, but there's pessimism there that this thing isn't going to work. And I do side with that. I'll be very surprised to see if the JJ Redick head coach tenure works out. There's a chance for it. But what I'm seeing right here says this is going to be a very tough overhaul with the pressure of the Lakers expected to get to the finals. First-year head coach with no experience. A lot to take in. So we'll throw the break here. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, the morning Pierson-El, we're going to try to fix the WNBA. Despite all the positive news, the revenue still isn't adding up. In fact, it's getting worse. So we'll talk about that next. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. We got the morning Pierson-El on the Owl VIP line. Talk to you in just a little bit.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People Seating Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
In a world where businesses are facing daily cyber threats, you need protection like never before. Don't let hackers and malware companies compromise your business success. Stay ahead of data breaches with Hamilton Cybersecurity. Let Hamilton provide you with peace of mind that your business is protected. Our experts identify and mitigate risks before they become disasters. As your trusted partner, we help you protect your valuable information. Hire your local cybersecurity experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticket.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. Once again, Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. If you guys want to join the show like you've been so far, Sergeant Heyman text still open to you. 402-464-5685. Love to get your guys' opinions as we're going to try to at least come up with some ideas here against the WNBA, because I'm even shocked by this news. We'll talk about it. This one's from CBS News, and it's about the money that's still being lost within the WNBA and the fact that it's actually gotten worse despite trying to grow this league dramatically this year. Has not gone the way they have hoped so far. Again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. You guys are welcome to join us. But Marty Pierson-El, I'll just give you the news. The Washington Post reported that the league is expected to lose $50 million this year. Since the WNBA was founded in 1996, it averaged losing about only $10 million a year. And this year, they're going to build $50 million a year. The problem is, if you go on tonight, you know, if you're bored and you want to watch some of the WNBA, there's going to be a lot of WNBA games that are widely available now that you can watch, but there's not a lot of people out there actually sitting down to watch those games. And you're doing the private flights now, thinking this thing was going to take off, but just calling it for what it is. If Caitlin Clark's not playing, people still aren't watching. I mean, that's just the problem. DeMarty Pierson-El, your thoughts? How do we fix this? It's not good.
I mean, they're professional athletes, you know. They got to, I guess, do a better job of marketing, you know, other athletes in their own right states to get, you know, the familiarity out there to people. You know, it's different things you can do with, you know, the hometown team to raise awareness or to, you know, have more outreaches or, you know, fan nights and have different things to where people want to come and see you, signings and everything like that. You got to think a little bit outside of the box to get, you know, some things going on and everything like that to get stuff situated and whatnot. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I understand, you know, the people want to see certain people and whatnot, but, you know, it's other ways you can get some of the other superstars, you know, involved. I haven't seen, you know, Asia, or I don't know if I said her name right. I think it's the last name Wilson for the Aces. I haven't seen her on any State Farm commercials.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her on any Geico commercials. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she's an all-star, you know, and a gold medalist and a national championship. So, I mean, her resume speaks volume alone. And, you know, I don't see, you know, people branching out to get things, you know, stuff for her or the two girls in on the New York team, Stewart and is it Sabrina?
Yeah, Sabrina.
I can't think of her last name, but I haven't seen, you know, too much with those girls, you know, on stuff and everything like that. That's just, you know, you missed your opportunity to on something that was needed. You doing it with Caitlyn, and these other girls were superstars in their own right too. I think the girls too. I think she might have won 3 or 4 national championships at UConn when UConn was winning every year before, South Carolina took over. Sabrina, she was under Kobe's mentorship and everything like that. And she just, did a 3-point contest against Steph Curry and everything like that. It's other ways that you could market, a lot of the WNBA athletes. And I just feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot on that with getting the whole team or the whole face and things, the whole face, situated and whatnot. And that's not, the people's fault. That's on y'all for not, putting out the options there, having different varieties and everything like that. People don't go to Baskin Robbins just for one flavor of ice cream. There's 31 flavors for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So not every Baskin Robbins commercial, Cold Stone commercial just got one flavor in there. No, it's options. So you got to mix it up.
Right now, that's the problem. Right now, the Baskin Robbins has only got vanilla flavor, and that's that's part of the problem right there. Just the one flavor, but this is tough. The way you fit, you're right. You got to market these players. Cameron Brink, unfortunately, another young star. She just went out with the ACL. But again, there's a lot of stars out there. People know Caitlin Clark because I just had to see her commercial 800 times.
Exactly.
Every game. I've won one game. I'm seeing State Farm, Caitlin Clark.
You got Big Ten commercials. She's in Big Ten commercials. Like, she's everywhere.
Yeah. And guess what? It worked. We know who she is, and people are into it. Given, yes, she's also a superstar player. Not everyone's going to have the same success rate, but you definitely drive up interest in a lot of these other stars. It's a way to do it. You highlighted one girl, and now we're surprised. It's like, man, if the Indiana Fever aren't playing, nobody's watching. I'm confused. There shouldn't be any confusion. I think the other problem was, let's cool it on pushing the WNBA as much as I get it. It feels like a golden opportunity, but you got to be careful how you go about this because, like I said, you're averaging $10 million a year. For the WNBA, for as much as I respect what they're trying to do, it's been in the red since day one. It's been in the red, and it's always been in the red. It's never made money. So you have to be careful when you try to blow this thing up. You did good with Caitlin Clark, but you got to bring everybody else along with it, and I feel like that's where they fell short.
You have other superstars. Whose record did Caitlin Clark break? Kelsey Plum record. Like, Kelsey Plum is a legit all-star. She's a bucket. I don't see her in any commercials.
You don't.
Y'all asking, or people are complaining and everything like that. I'm like, y'all got at least 7 to 8 other girls that you can market just as much as you did, Caitlin Clark. Maybe not, on that level or here and there, but it's other situations and other things that you can get things done and whatnot, and that's on them. And it's not just, on the national level, the local markets. You can do certain things. And I just seen something not too long ago where the Raiders were at, the Aces facility, 3-point contest and everything like that, got things going on and whatnot. I mean, the Vegas love the Aces. Like, they are, superstars out there. Vegas loves them.
They embrace them, though. To your point, Vegas embraces the Aces. They make sure they're in the mix.
So, you have to, do some of the things that you kind of been doing. You got the blueprint, not everybody's going to have necessarily, the Caitlin Clarks, but there are other superstars out there that do have a bigger name in the sport of the WNBA that y'all just looked over.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's not on everybody. Well, nobody's interested. Well, how are we going to be interested? We won't even know the girl name. Number 12 for the Sparks. Who number 12? I don't know. I just know she shoot, or she be on the commercials here and there and everything like that. You got, how many commercials do we see with multiple NBA stars? How many WNBA commercials do we see with maybe 1 or 2 faces? The Christmas commercials. I remember, that was a thing for the NBA. Like, outside the box, like. Sometimes retro, bring it back. Like, y'all making things harder than when it got to be.
Leave it to marketing for that. That's a typical marketing. Make it harder than it needs to be. Yeah, it feels like they missed the storyline. Take Caitlin Clark and market it as in Caitlin Clark versus the Goliaths of the WNBA already. Make it this David versus Goliath. You got Caitlin Clark, who's supposed to be the next best thing. but she's got to go through the greats that are already here, elevate the champs that are right in front of you. And then you already know you have the Caitlin Clark story. You clash those. I think that's how you do it. Instead, it's just been Caitlin Clark. Is she going to drop 30? Is she going to be the next greatest player? We don't know who the hell she's even playing because they don't talk.
Take something, from the NBA, and I'm shocked that they stopped doing it. But you remember the rookies versus the sophomore game?
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Make that happen in the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Or create a team of rookies and sophomores and had them go against, certain amount of vets or vets that didn't quite get the all-star vote, but they had the qualities and mix it in, with the all-stars and make certain things fun, make things pop and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to market them and getting them out, but you mad and upset. But like I said, I don't see nobody else on State Farm but Caitlin.
Yep.
Like I said, Asia Wilson, she's a superstar. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people know her and everything like that. Maybe not as much as, Caitlin and whatnot, but she's very successful in the WNBA at the collegiate level, an Olympian, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all got people there, and it's just like, y'all are just going for the big fish instead of, bringing everybody along. That's your problem. That's not, the people not tuning in. The people don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they got to figure out a way to tap into that woman's demographic. That's the last thing I got for them. The NBA women are about 40%. They actually take out a bigger chunk than most people would realize of the quote-unquote NBA fan base. WNBA, it only jumps up to about 43%. So you still got all these NBA fans that are now also just watching the WNBA on the side when it's on and available. You actually haven't gained new fans. In a way, yes, you're bringing more people from the NBA, but there's a demographic you got to tap into, and you got to get the woman watching women's basketball. And then the guys will also always be there as a part of it. They still make a big chunk, but you got to tap into another demographic here to get people excited, to get them to watch these games. Because like I said, you're in the red. You're in the red a lot this year. Despite everything that's good that's happening, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you don't want to have that conversation where next year it's like, I know the private flights were nice, guys, but we might actually go back to commercial. Like, this is what happens when you try to push it out too fast. Now you're going to have to take steps backwards. It's going to be humiliating. You're going to piss players off. It's just not a good look. I mean, it's interesting. It's fair bringing it up because it's surprising. What felt like a golden year for the WNBA, the numbers aren't quite showing what you'd hope. It is growing. There is more people watching, but for how much they put out and how many games are on TV right now, they're actually dipping way further in the red than they have in years past. With that being said, though, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. We'll keep it rolling. Don't punt hour. We got the host of Morning, Pierson-El, streaming in. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk to you in just a little bit.
Be a memory for your grandchildren. Among Nebraska adults age 65 or older, 47% report current alcohol use. Drinking too much can cause harm to children, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, you will still be around for your grandchildren. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Play ball! Summertime is here, and so is another action-packed baseball season with the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Bring your whole crew to Haymarket Park to experience the magic under the lights and the thrill of the game. Enjoy daily specials like Wiener Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, and Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts. Don't miss out on the excitement. Strike three, you're out. Visit saltdogs.com to see this week's promotions and secure your tickets to unleash the fun.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and test us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, wrapping up here on the Don't Punt Hour. We got the host, DeMornay Pierson-El, streaming in. Last second comments, 402-464-5685 is the Starter Heyman text line. If you guys want to join in, put your opinion out there. Wrap things up. Let's talk a little bit of Husker football. TJ Lateef, the quarterback, he finished for the 7v7 portion of the Elite 11 finals. He was on target for 17 of 23 with 4 touchdowns as well. 7-on-7, there's not as much to take in. Definitely, you hope to see higher percentages, but you see, we get TJ Lateef. We also get, make sure I get his name pronounced correctly here, the NAIA transfer quarterback, Jalen Gramstad, the number 1 quarterback in the NAIA, transfers to Nebraska or commits to Nebraska as well. This quarterback room feels like it's starting to get pretty deep. We're getting a lot of highly touted guys. What's going on with quarterbacks in Nebraska? Is this still just kind of the Matt Rule effect? Is it facilities? Is it NIL? But we are seeing a lot more interest, especially at these skill positions than we were in the past.
You said it's a 2025?
For Lateef, yeah, he's 2025.
I mean, every year they're recruiting your replacement. So I mean, every year you'll get one quarterback in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's not anything out of the ordinary or anything like that. Like they're people come in, people go out. You know what I'm saying? So that's not anything weird. But I mean, you got the number 1, guy in the nation here. There's going to be a microscope there. The Big Ten is a division that kids want to come and play in outside of the SEC. I mean, and they like to compete. So I mean, it's an opening spot. They like what the offensive side is doing and whatnot. You got a young group on the offensive side. So I mean, it's a place to be. So I mean, it's not unexpected or anything like that. We'll see how things shake out.
Yeah, it does to me. It feels a little bit unexpected how we're getting a lot of these guys to swing our way. And I do have a hard time trying to figure out, not that I have any problems if it's about the money. I mean, that's just where we are in college football. You're making good money. Yeah, I get it. I'd probably take the money too. But definitely some belief in the program. And Jalen Gramstad's interesting because he can come in there and plug in. What does this mean for Harburg? You still like Harburg as QB2? Do you maybe now with the quarterback depth that we're getting, depending on what you see in a guy like Jalen, do you maybe give options of putting a guy like Harburg back at a tight end position, moving him around, or is he still just locked in QB?
When will this kid be on campus?
I believe he'll get down here relatively soon because with the NAIA, they're not held to the same rules as if you are in the NCAA. So he can.
So he'll probably come in either first or second session of school when either everybody else comes back and he'll be here and everything like that. I mean, it's adding depth. You still have Harburg if anything does happen and whatnot. I'm pretty sure he'll probably will do both. But I mean, if you're thin at the tight end spot, again, you have Fadone, who's had injury issues, which is we've stated, and then you kind of got some of the other kids that are a little bit inexperienced. You got is it Carter Nelson?
Carter Nelson, yeah, the tight end out of Ainsworth.
Freshman, he's an athlete. He still has to learn exactly the position because he won't be playing. He won't be doing what he did in high school. So I mean, you can have Harburg switch back in between and kind of get, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think that's one thought. It's an idea. I don't think they'll actually pull through it just because you did work. Clearly they worked hard based on what I saw in the spring game. Harburg looked a lot cleaned up. His throwing mechanics looked pretty good. So I don't know if they want to go back on that. I feel like for what you're doing with Harburg to keep rattling him around, it's an idea worth talking about, but I think the better idea, you get him QB3, you can redshirt Daniel Kalen and save his year for him.
Or Danny could possibly redshirt. He might be like, no, I'm good, and see how things play out.
Yeah.
But I mean, Harburg is not in the same type of comparison, but when you think of him, what person pops in your mind?
Like player or position?
Player.
He looks like tight end to me. That's what pops up.
I'm saying Taysom Hill. And what is Taysom Hill? A tight end and a quarterback. They have certain packages, for him. If they need him, okay, he can do it. And if not, again, what is Harburg gonna play at the next level? He's not gonna probably play quarterback.
No.
But his comp will be Taysom Hill just because of the running ability. He's not as fast as Taysom. He's not as good as a quarterback as Taysom, but you still have that ability to be developed. You have the tools, you played it and everything like that, but you have the body of a tight end. That's a position that special teams coaches love because you can hide and do certain things, with him and everything like that. So why not necessarily have both where not a lot of people can have that type of film and be on that type of position?
Yeah, out of all the ideas, I like that one the most. I think that one works out pretty well. We're going to wrap it up here, though. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. More depth in the quarterback room. Definitely a good problem to have. It gives them some options.
Hurt. Like I said, I mean, you can move numbers around. It's a good thing.
Yep, they got some flexibility with it. That is absolutely true. We'll wrap it up here. Shout out to Morning Pierson-El, the host as always, joining me on time as always. But don't go anywhere. What's Brewing with Chance of Brewington up next, and then one-on-one with DP once we get to 9 o'clock. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you joining as always.